So I had to go to somebody's house and get a pry bar. This guy over here, his fender is jammed up on his tire.
Could be worse. Well,
It's rolling in.
rolling through now.
Yeah, kind of drawing the chaps up down there, didn't it?
You had a spot on your shoulder here, too.
I didn't know if them boys, I thought y'all was maybe plumb through the curve down there.
Well, you did.
Well, he was.
Front end messed up on it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was front end. Oh.
Do ya?
She made the field.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. That's exciting.
Well,
Is it
I'd
your
say
first?
you handled it like a champ. You're lucky too. They'll total it out, but that's why I dropped full coverage last year on it. It only books out at $3,500,
okay.
but $3,500 won't put the extra chrome on.
Nah,
Right. Wow.
3,500 will make it rideable, but they ain't gonna make it look.
Well,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's it.
Yeah, it'd be all, yeah.
We just had one model. She's pretty though.
That's just flopping down.
I got some two-sided tape.
Man,
That's all I got.
I'm glad you're okay. Okay, man. All right, well, sorry guys, I'm shooting this from my phone now because this GoPro is officially dead. It's not just the batteries. It keeps flaking out and the screen here got all jumbled up and it's officially fried. So I will be getting a new GoPro very soon, but I wanted to shoot this. I already did a closing, but it's just crazy. I was going through these mountain roads up here and came across a group of bikers that I didn't really know what was going on. They were trying to pry the fender off of the tire in the back. So I rode down this big hill here. I know there's some houses down here. So I asked a guy, he was out mowing his lawn, if he had a pry bar. So I got that from him and took it up there to the bikes, and they were able to get the back fender pried apart just enough that the guy can ride it home or to a shop or whatever. But I suspect the bike is totaled at this point. I'll show some footage of that. But the guy seems to be okay. He was an older guy. That's the best part. I'm just glad he's okay. But I was able to get that pry bar to them. They were able to pull the fender up. And I guess they're going to be on their way. But man, I'm just glad he's okay. And that gives me a different outlook on that intersection. I'm going to be mindful of that every time I go through there now. And I say intersection, I'm not talking like in a city. We're out in the middle of the country here in these mountain roads, twisty roads, and that's a blind corner that had a bunch of gravel in the road, and he just slid. He went down. So, man, you guys be safe, be careful out there. Always be mindful, looking at the road. Be ready for the worst. So I have been getting hard after fire on my bike for years now. Usually after heavy acceleration and then decelerating, like dropping the throttle down to zero after having accelerated really fast. And it's usually pretty obnoxious. It's pretty loud, not just normal like rumbly after fire. It's like usually one huge gunshot sound. It's a little embarrassing and I just don't like it. I've had the exhaust looked at a couple of times. There's no exhaust leak. I know a surefire way to get rid of it is to send the ECU in to Ivan and have it flashed. However, I do have a PC5 installed and I know I can tweak things a little bit. Now, one of the things that causes after fire, some people call it backfiring, but technically this is after firing. One of the things that can cause that is a super lean situation where there's more air than there is fuel. However, I think mine is the opposite. because it can also be caused by a rich situation. My spark plugs look a little dark even after just a few hundred miles, and also this bike is putting off a pretty strong gas smell. So I think I'm going to do a little tweaking in the PC5 software and see if we can just go into those fuel cells and back off on the fuel pretty much throughout the range. And here's why I feel okay doing that. You may have seen in a previous video where I installed a new rectifier. That rectifier is a series model. It's better at handling the changes in electrical. However, it tends to offer a little bit more power on the ECU. So the ECU is running fine, but with that increased voltage, it might very well be increasing the fuel output. So I am going to try just backing off on my PC5 map throughout the range and see if that helps with some of the overall after fires. I know I can't completely get rid of it without doing an ECU flash, but we're sure going to try to smooth it out a bit. Here is the Power Commander 5, and I've got a Velcro on there. Here on the side is a little USB port. Oops, I actually popped that lid off. I have to make sure I don't lose that. Set it right there. So we will be hooking up USB cable to that and running that over to the trusty PC here in the garage. Okay, so with those modifications, we now have a lot more negative values in our fuel table. And everything we do on this map, right now we're just affecting the map for cylinder 1. We've got to do the same amount of work to the map for cylinder 2 because they're mapped separately. So I want to be absolutely clear that I do not recommend that you just go in and manually tune your bike. The proper way to do it is take it to a proper tuning shop where they've got a dyno tuner. They can put it up on the dyno. They can run all the air to fuel ratios and make sure everything's good. What I'm doing is I'm taking the map that I got when I had my bike professionally tuned, and I'm basically subtracting from the fuel cells from that mapping. And I'm doing it consistently across the board. That way it's still the same tuning. Okay, I just had some more GoPro problems. I put in a fresh 100% charged battery and the camera died anyway. So I had to pull over and pull out the battery, put it back in. That didn't make it wake up, so I had to put a different battery in, and then it's fine. So I feel like I could do a whole video just about GoPro problems. And I can tell you that so far, I've only been riding for about 10 minutes now, but so far I'm not getting any popping. Now I have a feeling if I get really aggressive on the throttle and then cut back to 0 throttle, there's still going to be popping, because there's no way to, with a Power Commander, tune out what the ECU is doing at 0 throttle, which on a Yamaha Raider is basically cutting the fuel. And there's no way to override that. And that's not what I'm trying to fix. I mean, that'd be great if I could, but I'm not trying to fix that. I'm trying to get rid of all the other popping that's just from casual riding, maybe low speed and then cutting back to 0 throttle and I guess I'm popping. That's what I'm working on. So yeah, so far so good. Seems to be running all right. Like right there, I just let off the throttle down to 0. No pops. No pops. Hey, that's a big deal, man. So I'd say it worked out pretty well. Yeah, I've been testing it at different speeds, different gears, just dropping it down to 0. Nothing, no pops. That's awesome. Speaking of awesome, this road is awesome. I'm glad I found this. Wow. Alright guys, I'm going to get off of this camera so that I can concentrate on the road since I'm going a little faster to get home. I want to say thanks for riding along and watching my journey as I attempt to manually tune my bike. So far so good. I will update you on that in future videos. I'm the 7th letter. My friends call me G, and I am uploading motorcycle related content. Please consider subscribing, hit a like on this video, and hit the little bell so you get the notifications when I upload new content. And I will see you next time.